I'm Scott Peasley,
I'm Brett.
and this is Wild Generation. What are we doing today, Brett?
I have no clue.
He has no clue, and that's because today we're doing Introduce an Amateur.
I don't take too much offense to that.
So
You asked for a novice, and a novice you received.
So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to introduce Brett to something out in the wilderness that he's never done before. I can pretty much guarantee it. And you can follow along and you can figure out what we're doing.
You know, we haven't finished our wheel yet, my wife and I. It's not done yet, so should I call her?
I mean, it's a little late, buddy. It's a little late. Do you have your flashlight?
Check. I had to buy one, but yes.
Do you have warm clothes?
I have long underwear on, and I'm sweating my kahunas off, but I'm ready to go.
We're going to do an episode on layers later. That's going to be important. Do you have a water bottle?
Done, yes.
Snacks?
Yes.
What else did I tell you to bring? Good, perfect. We're ready to go.
We're good to go.
All right, so I have these Cthulhus for you. They have spikes on the bottom, and so you won't slip on the snow. If you're interested in some of these, they're pretty awesome, and I'm going to put a link in the description. And for me, because I'm super nice to you, I'm going to use these ones, which do not have the spikes, but they're still pretty good. So what you do is you're going to take it, and you're going to put your front in, and then pull up on the back like that. He's still learning. He's a noob. I have these for you as well,
Okay,
and then that's to make sure that you have additional support. You'll need that especially later on. You ready?
I've been born ready.
So we're gonna go up this hill and get started. Let's go.
There's a legend that says that pirates wore eye patches in order to keep night vision in one of their eyes at all times, so that when they boarded a ship and they were fighting in hand-to-hand combat, they could easily switch the eye patch from one eye over to the other as they went below deck, still fighting hand-to-hand. In doing so, they would not need to light a torch, which could ignite the gunpowder that was below deck. Therefore, they were able to continue fighting down into the lower decks. This provided them the opportunity to fight, find treasure, and not get blown up, which was very helpful. Brett and I would adopt this similar philosophy when we reached the top of the mountain. Unfortunately, our audio got messed up, so I'm just going to tell you that I made Brett wear an eye patch, which he thoroughly appreciated. After about 20 minutes of drinking hot chocolate, we were able to take that eye patch and switch it to the other eye. As the sun set behind us, rhodopsin, which is a vitamin that yellows your eye and helps you develop night vision, was building up inside our eye that was completely covered by the eye patch. Now, naturally, as the sun sets, rhodopsin builds up in your eye and you develop your night vision after about 30 minutes, but we were able to speed this process up because of the fact that our eye had been completely shut to light for a significant period of time. So when we finished our hot chocolate, we swapped our eye patches over to the other eye and we were able to see with greater clarity, and Brett was significantly impressed by the fact of how well he could still see colors and how clearly he could see out of that eye compared to the other eye. So if you're interested in trying that experiment at home, you don't need to get a pirate eye patch. You can just cover your eye and hang out for a few minutes as it's dark out. So if you are inside and then go outside or whatever, but you need to go from a high light area to a low light area and then give time for the rhodopsin to build up in your eye. Once we had finished our hot chocolate, we knew it was time to head back down the mountain.
So I've changed the filter on the camera, just so you guys know. So if it looks brighter, hopefully it will. That is because of the fact that I changed the filter to try to absorb more light, because it is getting pretty dark. So the plan is this. I've done this before with like 5th graders, so I don't want you to think that this is like something totally insane. And if you want to write in the comments that you think this is totally insane, I will tell you I've done this a lot of times with a lot of different people. As long as you do it safely and as long as you do it in a way where you're following all the things that I'm telling you to do, you'll be fine. So we built up our night vision. We have our flashlights. These are backup. We're gonna do what I call a night hike.
Oh.
So some people, a night hike is going out in the woods with a flashlight and hiking with the flashlight on. I much prefer, because you can see a lot more in the night sky and you can see a lot more in the woods. Instead of having this unidirectional thing that just points where you look, you can see everything if you allow your body to naturally do what it's supposed to do. Okay? So things to be aware of when we're doing this in the snow tends to play a few little tricks with you in terms of shadows. So just kind of step in a way where you are anticipating the ground a little early or a little late, right? So you kind of just have a range of where you think the ground's going to be. And we got our trekking poles, and we're just going to go slow. Already you can see there's Orion's belt. The sun behind us, you can see the orange still there, and I can see Orion's belt. Do you see that right there? So you can see that because of the fact that you've allowed your night vision to set. If you turn on your flashlight for even just a second, you will lose your night vision. So we have it for emergencies, and if there's something dangerous, obviously we're going to turn it on. But we're going to challenge ourselves to try to enjoy going down the mountain after the sunset and enjoy what nature still has to offer, rather than what we're going to do to adapt the way we're perceiving nature with the flashlights. Let's go. All right, Brett, you ready? Let's go. So Brett, what kind of things do you think live in these woods right now?
Well, I'm guessing you're looking for tracks because of the snow.
Well, I did see some tracks actually, but they probably wouldn't show up in the camera right now. The same things live in the woods during the night that live in the woods during the day. So when people are always like, oh man, I don't want to go out at night because there might be something out there and it's going to eat me. And I'm like, well, that same something is out there during the day. It might not be as awake, like we're dealing with sometimes nocturnal animals, but the same animals are in the woods during the night that are in the woods during the day.
Right.
And I don't know if you can see this going down that hill, but I can see pretty much all the way to the bottom of that hill, which you probably can't right now, but it's pretty clear, and we can see very, very well. So instead of ruining your night vision with a flashlight, don't use a flashlight, develop your night vision, and you'll be able to see super well in the woods. I especially want to point out that I picked a clear night for this. So like, I didn't pick a super cloudy day for us to do this because I wanted us to be able to see some stars.
I mean, we can see basically just not as clearly, but the same distances that we see in the day.
Right.
Just not as clearly, but you can see all the way down the ravine. You can see all the way up the top of the hill.
Right. I can see the lake. Can you see the lake down there?
You can see it, yeah.
Yeah. So we can see all the way down there is the lake.
It's true. Your natural inclination would be to pull out a flashlight, and then it would inhibit your vision.
This is how you night hike. It's always a good idea to bring a friend too. So one time I was night hiking in very similar circumstances to this, and I stepped down off of a ledge, and I didn't realize how deep the snow is at the bottom, and I just post-holed all the way down to my hip, and I had to like literally, because I was afraid that I was going to break my knee, right? Because my weight was still moving forward, so I just gave like a big hop and a roll, and I rolled out of that hole. But yeah, I could really feel the pressure on my knee from that.
Were you nice and cold after that, huh?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I mean, as long as you're moving, you stay pretty warm. But the thing about it was like, that would have happened during the day the same way that it would have happened at night. Like, it wasn't because, like, how was I supposed to know how deep the snow was, you know? So you just gotta kind of guess and give it your best guess. And if you're wrong, be ready to do something about it. You can kind of see behind us. There we go. See that? That's what we have left of the sunset. Now, if we look at that, it looks like almost nothing. We can't see hardly, like if you look back there, is that nearly as bright as what you see on the screen? Not even close.
That's just a camera filter.
But we can see every footstep that's on the ground.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
100%.
Like even on the padded ground, like where the snow's been patted down, you can make out every single individual footstep. And there's almost no light from the horizon right now. This filter is all that's allowing you to see any of what we're seeing right now. because we can't see that if we turn and look behind us. But I will say
vision.
also, if you're thinking that because we're looking at the screen right now, we're losing our night vision, the screen is almost entirely black and we're not really getting a lot of light off of it because of the filter that I have on it. So I can just barely make out shapes from it. So it's not flooding our eyes with a lot of light the way a flashlight would right now. What do you think of those trekkers that you have on, like the Tulus?
These are really great, especially this part right here, which is pretty steep. I imagine that we would be slipping and sliding down pretty good.
It just grabs right in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are incredible. I love them. I especially use them whenever I'm hiking in the woods in the winter and I have a kid on my back, right? Because you do not want to fall. Like, we'll do a lot of hiking near fast running streams and stuff, and it gets kind of dicey and icy. And so the ability to have those things on and just use them is super helpful. The only thing you got to be careful with those is if there's exposed rock, right? It'll wear them down and the spikes will wear out over time.
Right.
So you have to actually make sure that if you have exposed rock, you wear the ones that I'm wearing that don't have the spikes on them.
Right.
And then when you don't have the exposed rock, you wear those ones and then you'll be able to dig in a little bit better. Okay, so we're almost at the bottom and we can't see any of that blue light or white light that you see in the camera, but we can see a little bit of the silhouette of the trees. And you can see this is our path that we're walking on. Come on out to the reservoir that's out here. We have made it the entire way down the mountain without any issues whatsoever. Brett, did we survive?
I have no injuries, so my wife will be pleased.
Here's the dam at the edge of the reservoir. So I'm gonna try to clean this up in post so that you can actually see us. But we are at the bottom of the mountain. This is how dark it is right now. How many stars do you see?
Oh, tons.
Tons and tons and
Yeah,
tons of stars.
it's gorgeous.
I'll try to do a star shot in a second. I have no idea if it'll work. But there are tons of stars in the sky. We are back in the same spot where we did our intro, and we are down safely. It's been a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your introduction?
This was wonderful.
Awesome.
This was great.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for this. And we should do it again.
Yeah, it's worth doing. So go out there, enjoy a night hike. Make sure you bring a flashlight just in case and tell someone where you're going. And if you liked this video, like and subscribe to The Wild Generation.